So if you had camo that looked like this, or looked like this, you probably had a bayonet that looked like this. That's right, YouTube. Here to do a quick review of the OKC-3S Ontario Knife Marine Corps bayonet. I'm just going to give you guys a lowdown of this, but to start off, we're going to do the only sharpness test that we need to do. So get ready. Alright, so I know what you're thinking. If he's going to only do one sharpness test, it's probably going to be a pretty badass one, right? Well, I'm going to test this bad boy out on the one thing that I know every Marine has used it for, and sadly, probably the only thing they've ever used it for. Or maybe not so sadly. But that's right. Just to open up this here Chillimack MRE. Let's see if it can do it. Dang! Guys, look at that. One time, no sweat. That's right. The MRE opener. Booyah. Okay, well, I wanted to get started off on the specifics, but first a little warning for any collector that's looking into buying one of these. When I first was looking around, years and years ago, I could find this for about $100 on the used market and about $120 straight from the factory. Now, if I go look, I picked this one up for $150 on the used market because it was in decent condition, and brand new, the MSRP on this is $238. So, if you're planning on picking this bad boy up, I would strike while the iron's hot, because I've been looking at the prices for the last, I don't know, 5 years, and it's not like they're going down. So, let me give you guys a quick heads up on some of the specifics. Let's start with this blade first. It has a 1095 carbon steel blade that is zinc phosphate coated, protect from corrosion and whatever else. Its Rockwell hardness is between 55 and 57, and its blade length is 8 inches. Now moving on to the rest of it, it has a plastic scabbard. On the back, I'll be able to show you this in a second, has a little honing rod on there, and it's MOLLE compatible. Let's go ahead and show you guys. Alright, so there's the MOLLE webbing. I'm going to push that over. I'm going to have to undo the top of it. There's a little elastic piece here that allows you to undo the top, especially if you have two hands available. Alright, there we go. And yeah, there's a little honing rod back there. It's made out of ceramic. So that's pretty cool. Keep a really good edge on it. But yeah, so you got 1095 carbon steel blade. Got your attachment point for the rifle. Now, I sadly do not actually have a rifle to throw this onto because I don't have one with a bayonet lug. Then I was thinking, hey, I can just get a 590A1. Then I realized you still have to modify it a bit because this handle's length is just a little bit more than the M7 bayonet that was actually made for. So yeah, we got a plastic scabbard. It's actually kind of a new development. Usually it was leather, or, well, I guess they had plastic back in the day too. And this one's got a metal, I don't know what you would call it. It braces the blade itself. That's why it's got a little bit of those scuff marks on the side. But that's so it doesn't rattle around in there. So it's very important. And if you buy one of these used and it's rattling around, just stick the knife in there and bend it towards the blade. And that will put tension back on it. But yeah, I actually have a few funny stories about this particular bayonet. I was issued this when I was in the Marine Corps, and On one occasion, I actually used it to save somebody's hand. We were bussing tires, trying to put the run flats in them, and if you know anything about that, you got to use 2 ratchet straps. Well, Corporal Dunlap was trying to get that final click out of the ratchet when it slammed back down and trapped his hand. Now there's about 10 Marines standing around, and all of them had their bayonets on their web gear. I have always grown up with a pocket knife, so I wanted to have it on me, and thank goodness that day I did, because I probably saved homeboy's hand with that thing. That's one of my little funny stories. But yeah, there's multiple ways of attaching this. It's probably one of the best bayonets, I think, that were ever designed. I know I've heard some people say, hey, that's kind of a big old blade. Well, they wanted to make something that was both going to be advantageous in a fighting knife and something that would have enough length when you stick it on the end of your rifle. I'll give you a little more standoff distance. Now, another story, I participated in Operation Phantom Fury in Fallujah, and one of our companies actually fixed bayonets. And I know for a fact that at least in some cases, they had to use them. I also have a second-hand story about a Marine who was going to throw a grenade, and right as he did, the AK muzzle barrel stuck out from the wall he was about to toss it around. So he had no choice but to basically bear hug the guy with a grenade in one hand that had the pin pulled, and the only thing he can get to in the other hand was this bad boy. So yeah, that guy did not have a nice day, and thankfully that grenade did not end up going off anywhere inappropriate. Alright, so just a few more things I wanted to mention before I wrapped up this review. The thickness of the blade is 0.2 inches. The overall length, as you can see here, is 13.3 inches. And the scabbard kind of comes in closer to 14. And its weight. It is actually just a little over 1.5 pounds. And you know what? From what I've seen, it's standing up to the abuse of a bunch of Marines. It's worth every ounce of that weight. And that's what I gotta say about anybody who has any complaints about the lack of testing I've done too. This thing is not in the best of shape, but it's looking okay. And I have personally witnessed the abuse that Marines put this thing through. Well, not this particular one, but you know, the OKC-3S. I've seen what they've put it through. And man, let me tell you, this thing is darn near indestructible. I don't want to say indestructible because we all know somebody could break it with like a hydraulic jack or something, but yeah, for the most part, this is a great bayonet. It also doubles as a fighting knife, and the only way you would have anything other than this in the Marine Corps issued to you is if you were, say, a machine gunner. And in that case, they would give you something like a K-bar. Anyway, hope you guys like this little short review. I was pretty excited about getting this. And I hope you all get something out of this video. And like I said, if you are looking to buy this, do it soon.